Make friends around the world. Face-to-Face has 6 million members worldwide. Join today. It's free. On Face-to-Face, you can make your own homepage. Put photos of yourself and your friends on your page. Tell the world about you, your name and age, your hobbies, your hometown, your school, your favorite food, movies, and music. Meet your friends online. You can also make friends with other Face-to-Face members. Start a blog. Write your thoughts and tell stories online. Read other people's blogs. Put music and video on your page. Join or start a discussion group. Talk about different topics, movies, music, sports, travel. Send text messages from your computer to a friend's cell phone. You can also leave a message on a friend's homepage. Play games alone or with other Face-to-Face members. Watch new music videos. Listen to your favorite songs. Read about bands and singers. Learn about shows in your area. Read about new movies and your favorite actors. Watch short previews of new movies. Buy movie tickets online.
Active gaming. On Friday, David went home from college to visit his family. In the living room, David's 14-year-old brother, Jason, was in front of the television. Jason looked crazy, jumping around and talking to himself. "What are you doing?" David asked. "I'm playing Dance Central," Jason said. "Want to try?" There was no controller. Jason told his brother to stand in front of the television. Then Jason said that the machine could see and hear them. The machine was also connected to the television. If they wanted to, the brothers could tell the machine to turn off the game so they can watch TV. David was ready to play. Jason pointed his finger at the screen and started a 2-player music game. In the game, they were rock musicians, playing guitars and dancing. Playing the game made David feel tired. He had to move his arms, legs, hands, and feet to play the game. Being so active, David felt like he was actually in the game, not just controlling it. It was terrific. Before they knew it, they had played non-stop for 2 hours. Someone once said that technology can seem like magic. Standing in front of the television, David certainly felt like a magician. Doing something different. After high school, some people continue their studies, but not always at a university. These 2 students are doing something different. Name: Maiko, Abe. Age: 20. School: the Culinary Institute of America, New York. Why did you choose this school?
It's one of the best culinary schools in the world.
What are your plans for the future?
I'm in a 2-year program. I'm just about to finish my first year. Classes end in 2 weeks. When I graduate next year, I can work in a restaurant or hotel. I can also write for food magazines or even do a cooking show on television. They're really popular now. One of my friends from the Institute now works for a company in Shanghai. The company imports chocolate from Belgium and Switzerland. He loves it.
Name: Diego Molina. Age: 19. School: La Pasarela Modeling Center, Mexico City. Why did you choose this school?
I want to be an actor. I'm taking an 8-week course at La Pasarela. I'm learning to walk and talk in front of a camera. A good model can do these things. An actor can, too. Many La Pasarela graduates get jobs doing TV commercials and magazine ads.
What are your plans for the future?
I don't know. Maybe I can do TV or radio commercials at first. At some point, I'd like to study acting here in Mexico or in Los Angeles.
The Learning Center, Toronto. We have evening and weekend workshops on test preparation, meeting people and making friends, jobs and making money, travel and language learning. Some of this month's workshops. Workshop 1. Get good grades. Do you forget information and do poorly on tests? In this workshop, you can learn how to remember more, 95% of what you read. Think quickly and read fast, 400 words per minute. Do well on tests and get high scores. Workshop 2. Find true love today. Are you single and shy? Is it hard for you to talk to people? In this workshop, you can learn how to talk to people, start a conversation with anyone, be more friendly and outgoing, understand a person's body language. Workshop 3. You're on TV. Many actors get their start in television and radio commercials. You can too. In this workshop, you can learn how to act in TV ads, use your voice on the radio, get TV or radio jobs. Workshop 4. See the world for free. Traveling is expensive, but you can see the world for very little money. In this workshop, you can learn how to get discounts, 50 to 80%, on plane tickets. Travel with your friends for free. See the world by cruise ship for $1 per day.
One man, 52 jobs. After graduating from college, Sean Aiken knew he would need to find a job soon. The problem was that he wasn't sure what kind of work he wanted to do. One night at the dinner table, his father encouraged him to do what he liked most. His father said he had worked his whole life doing a job he didn't really enjoy. Aiken wanted a different future. That night, he promised himself that he would find something that he was passionate about. Aiken set a goal to work a new job each week for a year. That's 52 occupations in 1 year. And he did it. 1 week, as a dairy farmer, he milked cows every morning. Then, in another week, he was an astronomer studying the night sky. Aiken's favorite job, though, was teaching. He learned he was happiest when he was helping others. Aiken also learned that it's okay not to know what you want to do right away. He wrote a book about his experiences, and today he tells his story to college and university students. His message? You'll find your perfect job one day. After all, Aiken found his.
Working holiday. What is a working holiday? A working holiday is a great way to see the world and earn money at the same time. Every year, thousands of students travel and work in other countries. Some do it because they want to learn a skill, for example, how to speak a second language. Others just want to have fun. Often, you can do both. Today, there are many companies that can help you get started. Usually, these companies can help you get a job and plan your trip. You usually pay for your own travel expenses, for example, your airfare and taxi fares. What kind of work and travel projects can you do? Here are some ideas. You can work for a popular teen magazine in the United Kingdom. Teach music or sports to children in Madagascar. work on a Norwegian cruise ship, or at an Argentinian ski resort. Work at an amusement park, for example, Disneyland, in the United States. Some people go for a month. Some others stay for 6 months to a year. What do you want to do? Think about your goals and then decide. Here are some tips from other students about what to bring on your trip. Bring an ATM card. You might need cash for food, clothes, or travel. Make 2 or 3 copies of important documents, for example, your passport. Sports today. Sports like soccer, baseball, and basketball are popular all over the world. Many countries also have their own national sports. These traditional games are even thousands of years old. Here is one example. Sepak takraw. Malaysia's national sport is sepak takraw. Sepak means kick, and takraw means woven ball. This fast-moving game is like both soccer and volleyball. In sepak takraw, players move the ball like they do in soccer and volleyball. 2 teams of 3 players each compete by hitting a small ball across a net like they do in volleyball. Players can use their heads, feet, shoulders, or knees to pass the ball to the other team. But, like in soccer games, players cannot use their hands. Playing sepak takraw is a little like playing tennis, too. Like a tennis match, there are 3 sets in a game. If one team drops the ball, the other team gets a point. The first team to get 15 points wins a set. The winner of 2 sets wins the whole game. The sport of sepak takraw is more than 1,000 years old. Originally, the native Malays played it. Later, the sport spread to other countries in Asia, including Thailand, Indonesia, and the Philippines. Today, it is one of the most popular sports played in the Asian Games. There are also sepak takraw clubs in North America and Europe.
Are sports important? Sports are all around us. We watch and read sports news. There are also sports bars and even sports-only channels on TV. In many countries, athletes make millions of dollars every year. But why are sports, like soccer and baseball, so important? They're only games, right? Our readers answer.
Vlad, Kiev, Ukraine. Sports bring people together. In 2006, our team qualified for the Soccer World Cup for the first time. Everyone was happy. Rich and poor, old and young, men and women. Everyone was dancing in the streets together.
Kelly, Philadelphia, USA. Sports bring people together, but they divide them too. Fans of different teams fight all the time. They yell and hit each other. For example, my brother plays high school baseball. Last week, his team played an important game. At the game, 2 parents fought about a call. Come on! Baseball is only a game. Sports are so competitive these days. It's all about winning. When fights happen, the game isn't fun anymore.
Oba, Abuja, Nigeria. Right now, some of the world's best soccer players are from African countries: Cameroon, Senegal, the Ivory Coast. And the 2010 World Cup was in South Africa. Yes, some athletes make a lot of money, maybe too much. But sporting events, like the World Cup, bring tourists and money to countries and help their people. And that was really good for Africa.
Send
Scenic Hong Kong. Dear Jackie, hello from Hong Kong. My class trip is almost over, and this city is the last stop on our tour. We arrived here on Friday night, and I'm having a lot of fun. On Saturday, we visited the top of Victoria Peak. The view of the city was incredible. I could see all of Hong Kong. There were also some nature trails on the peak. We went for a short walk and then had lunch in the afternoon. In the evening, I went with 2 friends to the Temple Street night market. The streets were full of people selling food, clothes, jewelry, music, movies, electronics, and lots of other things. I bought some souvenirs to bring home. There were fortune tellers at the market, too. One told me, "You're going to fall in love soon." I hope she was right. Yesterday, our group went to Disneyland. Yes, there's one here. We were there all day. The park was crowded, and the lines for rides were long. I waited an hour to go on Space Mountain, the roller coaster. That was my favorite part of the trip. Today is Monday. We're going to Ocean Park to see the pandas this afternoon. We return home to Vancouver tomorrow. See you soon, Natalie.
Destination, Singapore. Place to stay, Marina Bay Sands Hotel. Rating, 5 stars. The Marina Bay Sands Hotel in Singapore is more than just a hotel. It's like a small city. There's a museum, a luxury shopping center, a casino, and 2 theaters. If that isn't enough, it also has the most impressive view of Singapore. Background. Building a hotel as huge as the Marina Bay Sands was a challenge. The hardest part of the project was making the rooftop observation deck, called the Sky Park. The deck stretches over all 3 of the hotel's 55-story towers, and it's as long as the Eiffel Tower is tall. To build it, engineers had to use the same technology used to make some of the world's biggest bridges. In all, more than 15,000 people worked night and day for almost 3 years to finish the project. Dining. Many world-famous chefs have opened restaurants at the Marina Bay Sands, including Mario Batali and Wolfgang Puck. Guests can feast on all kinds of delicious food, from steak to Singaporean street food like noodles or curry. Activities. Learn something new at the hotel's Art and Science Museum, go ice skating, or just relax at the pool. At 150 meters, it's the world's longest rooftop pool, so you can go swimming 200 meters up in the sky. The Marina Bay Sands has so much to offer. There's something here for everyone.
Table manners. Table manners differ around the world. If you visit a friend's home for a meal, it's good to know about the customs they follow. Morocco. If you are invited to a Moroccan's home, bring a gift of sweet pastries, nuts, figs, dates, or flowers to the hostess. In many traditional homes, people often sit on the floor to eat a meal. Often everyone shares food from the same plate. The plate is put in the center of the table. Usually everyone also drinks water from the same glass. Only eat the food in front of you. Don't reach across someone for food. It is common to use your fingers and small pieces of bread to eat food. Use only your right hand to eat. Don't say no to food. If the host of the meal offers you food or drink, take some and try a little. Also remember, in many Moroccan homes, it is common to take off your shoes. Tanzania. Tanzania is known for its fresh fish and spices. Don't act scared if your meal comes with its head still on the plate. It is polite to try a bite of everything. In many Tanzanian homes, people sit at a table on small stools to eat. It is okay to eat with your right hand, using bread or chapati to pick up food. Everyone may take food from the same plate, but it is not usual for people to share drinks. You may compliment the cook on a delicious meal, but don't exaggerate. In some parts of Tanzania, men and women will sit at different tables. Also remember, it is common to take off your shoes in the home, but it is rude to show the bottom of your foot.
My homestay diary, June 13th. It's my first week in the United States and my first time in another country. So much is new and unusual to me. It's great to be here. I hope I do well. June 25th. I live with an American host family, Valerie and Tim and their daughter Megan. They're really nice. Every day I learn something new. For example, this morning Valerie said, "Tim and I work late and I can't cook tonight. Help yourself to anything for dinner." I didn't understand Valerie. I thought she wanted help with dinner, so I bought takeout for everyone. When Valerie came home, she said, "Daniela, why did you buy food? We have a lot." I explained. She said, "Help yourself means eat anything you want." I was confused. We laughed and ate the Chinese food anyway. July 1st. My best friend from Brazil called today. I was really happy to talk to her, but after, I felt kind of down. Everything here is so different from home. The food, the people, even the weather. It gets cold here even in the summer sometimes. July 5th. Yesterday was Independence Day. It's a big holiday here. My host family had a barbecue in their yard. Their friends and neighbors came. Everyone was very friendly and warm. Later, I went with some friends from school to watch the fireworks. Then we went dancing. It was fun.
Ask Emma. Do you need help with a problem? Ask Emma.
Dear Emma, I have a problem and I need your help. My parents are really strict and never let me do anything. For example, when I go out with my friends, my mom always asks, "Where are you going? Who are you going with?" 2 months ago, I got an earring, and my father was really angry. He made me take it out. My parents want to control everything I do, but I'm 18 years old. I try to talk to my mom and dad, but they don't listen. They say, "This is our house, and these are our rules." Then we have a fight. Why is it so hard for them to understand me? Josh.
Dear Josh, you asked, why is it so hard for them to understand me? That's a good question. You're growing up, but often it's hard for your parents to see this. To them, you are still a child, and they want to protect you. Sometimes it's hard to talk to your parents. Here's an idea. Write your mother and father a letter. Explain your feelings calmly. In the letter, describe your friends. Tell your parents about yourself and your life, too. Then maybe they will understand you better. After your parents read the letter, try to talk to them. I hope this helps. Emma.
Your turn to talk. This week's topic, peer pressure. It's the week before school starts. Alicia Gonzalez is shopping for clothes with two friends, Nina and Vicky. Alicia puts on a black jacket, turns to her friends, and says, "Hey, what do you think?" The girls look at her, and both start laughing. "No way, Alicia." Nina laughs. "That's a guy's jacket." Alicia frowns angrily. "Yeah, well, I like it." "Yeah," says Vicky, "but what will people at school say?" Alicia thinks for a moment. Then she takes off the jacket. "Yeah, you're right." Peer pressure. We all know about it. Your friends wear certain clothes or listen to certain music. You don't want to be different, so you do those things too. 15 minutes later, Alicia is still thinking about the black jacket. "Yeah, there's pressure to follow the crowd," she explains. "If your clothes or hair are different, people make fun of you. You know, they laugh and point." Vicky agrees. It's true. You even have to have a certain kind of boyfriend or girlfriend. I think these rules are childish, but when you're different, you feel like an outsider, and that's hard. Alicia walks away. "Hey, Alicia," calls Nina. "Where are you going?" "To get the black jacket. I don't care about what others think. I like it, and I'm buying it."
A real-life superhero. As a child, Alain Robert was afraid of heights. One day, when he was 12, he returned home from school. At the front door of his building, he looked for his keys. He didn't have them. It was 3:30, and his parents worked until 6 p.m. Robert looked at his apartment on the 8th floor. He saw an open window. He closed his eyes and pictured himself climbing the building. When he opened his eyes, he told himself, "I can do it." 15 minutes later, he was in his house and his fear of heights was gone. Today, Robert, a native of France, still climbs buildings. In 2004, he climbed Taipei 101, the tallest building in the world at the time. And in 2011, he climbed the Burj Khalifa Tower in Dubai. To reach the top of a building, Robert usually uses only his hands and special shoes. To climb the Burj Khalifa Tower, though, he was made to wear safety ropes. Robert climbs as a hobby. He also does it to make money for charity, for children and the homeless. When he climbs, he wants to send a message to people. If you have a dream, something you really want to do, it can become real. But you must be brave and keep trying. If something bad happens, don't give up. Close your eyes and tell yourself, "I can do it."
Your questions answered. You have questions? We have the answers. Who are the Dabbawalas of India?
Dabbawala, from Hindi meaning lunchbox delivery man. Dabbawalas are sometimes also called tiffin men.
It's lunchtime in Mumbai, India. Population 12 million. And students and business people around the city have to make a choice. Should they go to a restaurant or eat a hot lunch from home? Today, many can choose the second option, thanks to the Dabbawalas. Every day, 5,000 Dabbawalas deliver 200,000 lunches to people all over Mumbai. The Dabbawalas work together. They pick up a person's lunch from his or her house or a restaurant. They put the hot lunch in a special box called a tiffin. Then they bring the lunch to the person's office or school by lunchtime. the men travel long distances, many kilometers a day, on bicycle, train, and foot, to deliver the lunchboxes on time. Many of the delivery men are poor. Most cannot read. They use a special system of colors and lines to write a person's name and address on a lunchbox. There are many challenges: traffic, bad weather, long distances, but the men are very organized. On average, for every 6 million lunches they deliver, they make fewer than one mistake. The Dabbawallas do so well that some teach classes at business schools around the world.
Artists in 2 languages.
Shakira. First album in English, Laundry Service. How she learned English. Many people wanted to translate Shakira's songs from Spanish to English. Shakira agreed, but she felt nervous about losing control of her music, so she decided to write her own songs in English. Shakira studied grammar and common expressions. She started reading newspapers and poetry because she wanted to know how people use English to express their feelings. Biggest challenge: writing her first songs in English. Today, Shakira writes and performs her music in Spanish and English for fans around the world. In the summer of 2010, Shakira was selected to record and perform the theme song for the World Cup in South Africa, called Waka Waka, this time for Africa.
J. Cho. First film in English, The Green Hornet. How he learned English. Jay spoke very little English before he got his role in The Green Hornet. He practiced every day for more than a month. At first he said all of his lines phonetically, but soon Jay's English improved. He was able to speak English and talk with his co-stars. His English was not perfect, but he got compliments from the other actors. Language exchange. As they shot the movie, Jay and his co-star Seth Rogen took turns teaching each other Chinese and English. Language crossover. Jay is an award-winning singer, but all of his current songs are Chinese. He hopes that in the future he can write songs in English as well.
What a great show! Last night I saw the most amazing performance. The modern dance company Palabolis was performing live at my sister's university. She bought tickets so she and I could go. I was curious about the show. Some of my friends practice ballet or hip-hop, but my sister said that Palabolis would be very different from those kinds of dances. She was right. You should have seen the dancers. The Palabolis dancers appeared on the stage in brightly colored costumes. They moved together in such an amazing way. They were also very strong. It must be hard to lift, jump, and carry other dancers across the stage. I don't think I could carry someone and still be as graceful as they are. The Palabolis dancers are very flexible. They create shapes and shadows with their bodies. I heard a woman say that Palabolis dancers remind her of sculptures. I feel like I learned so much about dance in just one night. Palabolis has created more than 100 original dances. I hope to see another one of their shows soon.
Focus on street style. People dress differently in New York and Paris, says Scott Schumann, who writes a blog about fashion. People in cities around the world pay attention to their clothes, and they work hard to look beautiful. They use their culture and the materials around them to create their own look. Schumann started his blog to simply share photos of people that I saw on the streets of New York. He thought the people looked fashionable, and he put photos online. Schumann isn't alone. Bloggers all around the world are using their cameras to report what is happening in their home cities. Since bloggers find and write about stylish people on the street, this type of fashion is called street style. Fashion changes often. With the internet, street style changes even more quickly. Bloggers only need minutes to snap a picture and post it online. Their readers can use those ideas to create their own styles. Fashion used to come from the runways of Paris and Milan. Now, fashion is homegrown. Do you think your city is fashionable? Go online. There are street-style blogs for most cities around the world, even small ones. Does your city have one?
Recycled fashion show. What happens when fashionable people start recycling? A recycled clothing fashion show, of course. An unusual city. The people of Austin, Texas aren't afraid to admit they live in an interesting city. The city slogan is Keep Austin Weird, and the city has many hip cafes and stores. There are also a lot of people in Austin who work hard to take care of the environment. Recycling and being eco-friendly is so important in Austin that the city is sometimes called America's greenest city. Remember to recycle. One of the most interesting ways that people help the environment in Austin is by creating recycled fashion. Every year, the Austin Museum of Art has the Keep Austin Beautiful Recycled Fashion Show. They have the show to remind people to recycle. More than 20 designers come up with clothes from recycled materials for the show. In recent shows, designers have used plastic bags, old furniture, bike tires, and second-hand clothes. Recycling can be creative. Recently, designer Tina Sparkles created a dress made out of colorful computer wires for the show. Later, Tina wrote a book about how to make recycled clothes called Little Green Dresses. Tina and the other designers in the recycled fashion show believe that fashion is a great do-it-yourself, DIY, activity. By creating their clothes from recycled materials, the designers are helping to keep Austin clean. They are also showing people that recycling can be a creative activity. I love fashion so much, and I want to feel good about it, Tina says.
The world's most mysterious manuscript. In 1912, book dealer Wilfred Voynich bought a number of books in Italy. He bought so many that he didn't look very closely at the books he was purchasing. When he got home, he discovered he had bought a very strange handwritten manuscript. It was written in a language he had never seen before. It was also full of pictures of plants. Since then, the book, now known as the Voynich Manuscript, has become known as the world's most mysterious manuscript. It has been studied by many people, including professors, code breakers, and language experts. However, no one has ever discovered its meaning or author. There are many ideas about who wrote it and why. Some people say that a famous scientist like Francis Bacon wrote it. Other people think it could be a religious text. Some other people think the manuscript is a great hoax and doesn't mean anything at all. Scientists have learned that the manuscript was made between 1404 and 1438. However, this only tells us how old the paper is, not when the book was written. But there's still hope that the manuscript is real and that there's meaning to its words. The Voynich manuscript remains a mystery today, but the pages are on the internet if you would like to try to crack the code.
Into the Night Sky. On November 24th, 1971, a very curious thing happened. A man using the name Dan Cooper bought a plane ticket for a short flight across the state of Washington. Nobody knew it at the time, but Dan Cooper was not his real name. After the plane took off, Cooper told a flight attendant that he was carrying a bomb. He demanded $200,000 and parachutes. The pilot sent a message to the airport, and they called the police. When the plane landed, Cooper allowed all of the passengers to get off safely. Once the money and parachutes were delivered, the plane took off again. Only the pilot, co-pilot, and one flight attendant were on the plane with Cooper. He told the pilot to fly to Mexico City. He gave instructions to fly low to the ground and slowly. Cooper then put the whole crew in the cockpit at the front of the plane. He tied the money to his body. He opened a door at the back of the plane. The night was cold, rainy, and pitch black. It must not have worried him as he jumped into the darkness. No one ever saw Cooper or the money again. The police have talked to hundreds of people about the case, but it is still unsolved.
Face to face with a Chupacabra, an interview. For years, people in North and South America have told stories about the Chupacabra. Chupacabra is Spanish for goat sucker. In this issue, Maria Teresa Perez, 24, from Chile, tells us her story. Tell us about that night. What happened?
My mother and I were watching a movie. It was late, maybe midnight. Suddenly, we heard a loud noise in the yard. We have chickens and other animals there. My mother and I went outside to find out what the noise was. That's when we saw this thing. I thought it was a large dog at first. It was dark, so I couldn't see well. But then it stood up on two legs, like a man. It was over a meter tall, with red eyes and large teeth.
What did you do?
My mom and I screamed, and the thing ran away. Or maybe it flew. It moved as fast as a bird.
What happened to the animals?
5 chickens were dead. But the Chupacabra didn't eat them. It drank their blood.
So, do you believe it was a Chupacabra?
It was like a nightmare, a really scary dream, but I know it was real. Many people in Chile, Brazil, Mexico, even the U.S. have seen this thing. I hope I never see it again.
Alive to tell their tale. On August 5th, 2010, an accident trapped 33 men 700 meters underground. The men worked for a copper and gold mine near Copiapo, Chile. At first, no one knew if the miners had lived through the accident. Then, on the morning of August 22nd, rescue workers made a hole deep enough to reach the miners. The men wrote notes and sent them up. The miners had survived by eating only small bits of food at a time and drinking a little milk once a day. The mine kept some food and drinks underground in case of an emergency. They had used their tools to dig for water. They had used the batteries from machines to keep some lights on. Once the miners were found, the rescue workers passed them food, water, books, and letters from their families. Even though the miners had been found, the rescuers had to work hard to get them out. The rescuers needed a powerful drill to dig deep into the ground. It took 52 more days to save the men. On the night of October 12th, the workers were able to save the men. One by one, the miners were brought up in a specially built elevator. They were weak, so the workers were very careful. Family members, friends, and people around the world cheered and celebrated. Church bells rang throughout Chile. In all, the miners spent 69 terrifying days underground. We had strength. We wanted to fight for our families, and that was the greatest thing, said Luis Urzua, the supervisor. He was the last miner to be saved.